I'm with Peter Yost, and I'm a fan of his site, Building Green, which has been around since 1997, was it?
I think that's when the website started. Environmental Building News started in 1991, I think.
So they've been covering the issue of green design before people ever heard of it. Now, you gave a wonderful presentation today here at the Metropolis conference about how we're going to have to live in 2030 and the changes that are going to have to be made. But I want to talk particularly about the future of the single-family home in America. How do you think this is going to change?
Well, if you look at where single-family home size has been going, you know, more homes, larger homes, we're going to have to think about more efficient space and more efficient relationship of one dwelling unit to the next, because it's just too resource intense, not just in terms of the amount of energy the homes consume, but the amount of energy we spend moving people around to their needs and their jobs.
Now, when KB Homes recently launched a program of homes, I think in Austin, Texas, at 950 square feet, everybody was saying, ooh, I can't live in that, that's too small. And yet, most urban people who live in London, Paris, or Rome, or New York City, where we are right now, 931 square feet is actually quite large. How do we change that perception among people?
Well, you know, we talked about this a little bit at the conference here, which is we have to start selling spaces for their services. We don't sell houses in any way similar to the way that we sell cars or computers or cell phones. All those things just deliver services to us. And so I think one of the changes we have to make is to help the building community and the buying community understand that spaces are all about delivering services. If they can do it well at 900 square feet, it saves you money in the long run because you don't have to service more than 900 square feet.
Now, my favorite line, as someone who was involved in the prefab industry for a number of years before I got involved in what I'm doing now, was your analogy. I'd like you to give it again, if possible, the analogy of the door of a Kia to the window of a house.
Right. Well, it's always kind of fascinating to me that you go out on a job site and you see the way a window is flashed, and the window leaks when there's a 25-mile-an-hour wind up against it. I'm thinking, oh, wait a minute. Even an affordable car like the Kia, you can drive that at 75 miles an hour into a rainstorm and it doesn't leak water. You know, why is that? And then if you open the door and carefully look, there's a really elegant system of gaskets and weep holes. And so, you know, most people don't even know how their doors drain, and that's a good thing, because the woman that was here said it was an issue of industrial design and precision manufacturing that you can get when you are working inside a system where you have quality control, as opposed to on a job site when the person who built the wall, the person who flashed the window, they're different individuals, and when you go to the next house, it'll be two more different framers and window installers.
Well, last night I was at a cocktail party at a Gwathmey Siegel designed building in Soho, in this penthouse apartment, and the entire thing was made of butt-jointed, double-glazed glass with a half an inch of black caulk between them. And you're looking at the caulk, and I was speaking to Joe Tanney of Resolution 4, who does some of the best prefab around, and I said, you know, when I was in architecture school, the first rule of design I was told was, imagine that there's no such thing as caulk, that everything has to drain on its own, have channels, have flashings. And here I was looking at this entire building that is entirely held together by caulk. And when I said this to Joe Tanney, he said, well, Lloyd, when did you go to school? Like, you know, because I went to school in the mid-70s and they taught that then. But I looked at this building and I thought it was a huge step backwards.
When you look at that door of the Kia, it's not caulk. It's gaskets and proper weather flashing of layers to drain the assembly. I mean, it's funny if you open up a car door. There's a very, very elegant way that they handle bulk water and then small amounts of water that run through gutters. And that's not done. That's done with proper weather lap, and it's done with design. With design.
Even in my '89 Miata, I open the trunk and I see channels around here to bring the water from the windshield past the engine. It's brilliant. And houses should be like that. You're absolutely right.
And I think you're completely right too. That, you know, relying on caulks and sealants it's short-term elegance but long-term disaster. You know, they're too dependent on replacement to keep water out.
Thank you very much.
My pleasure.